first episode of Game Master's Dungeon. I will be your Game Master, Brian, and this is CJ. He is one of the regulars of my current gaming group. So what this channel is going to be about, we're going to talk about basically tabletop gaming in general. So pen and paper role-playing games.
Pen and people.
Yeah, pen and paper role-playing games. We're going to talk about miniature wargaming, so like War Machine Hordes. We're going to talk about Age of Sigmar. We're going to talk about Warhammer 40k. And then any other new ones that come out that we decide to get into, obviously we'll be detailing that. First, I want to start with a little bit of my credentials. So obviously, if I'm going to be your GM, you're going to want me credible, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk where I started from. So back in about 1996, 97, I was introduced to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition. Obviously, this is not the book I had back then. This is the Gary Gygax, like the remastered release, which is a really beautiful looking book, by the way. It's all the same art, gold gilded pages, all that stuff. I got into it from a friend of a family member. Got into their group. They had been gaming together for probably 6-7 years. So I was the rook. I was the noob in the party. Very apprehensive. Played a... What did I start playing? I think I played a fighter. Obviously, fighters are pretty easy to start with, so I played a fighter. Played several different campaigns like through. It was really, really good experience because the GM was very, very detailed and very involved. So it really helped me get past the apprehensiveness, which we'll talk about in another video of role playing. So which really allowed me to become the character instead of like, my character does this and my character does that kind of stuff. After that, I got into. Eventually, I moved to 2nd edition, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and then to 3rd edition, 3.5, 4.0, and then we're on to 5th edition now. We're playing Pathfinder right now. Let's look at the Pathfinder book over here. There we go.
Of course, it's the third one down. Of
course it is. So, right now we're doing some, in the middle of a Pathfinder campaign, almost about ready to finish Season 1.
Season 1, yeah.
Season 1.
Yep.
We got one more game session where they fight the big bad. See if I can kill him off.
Not gonna happen.
What we're doing though is I found online, because I'm really into Final Fantasy, there's a fan-made Final Fantasy based Pathfinder set of rules online. I'll put a link in the description below for that so you can go check it out. So if you've ever wanted to play in the Final Fantasy world without having played a video game, this and that is going to be for you. It's a lot of fun. So and then... You know, obviously everybody's done the D20 systems. Well, maybe not everybody, but everybody should at least heard about them. They have in the World of Darkness book. So probably when I was in high school, I got into the World of Darkness. Obviously this wasn't out then, but it was Vampire the Masquerade 3rd edition, and then 3rd edition Werewolf the Apocalypse, and 3rd edition Mage. We all had a gaming group, a different gaming group from my D&D group, where we all had one type. So a friend had a vampire, I had werewolf, another friend had mage. We all got together and we played. It's published by White Wolf Game Studios. Really, really good system if you're really into that kind of like dark, gritty, noir, horror kind of setting. I really recommend it. I actually LARPed with the World of Darkness stuff for a couple of years during high school. LARPing. A lot of people make fun of it.
It happens.
They think it's, you know, gamers make fun of LARPers because they're to like another level. But if you have a group that's really into it and really enthused, and you have a storyteller or a GM or DM, whatever you want to call it, depending upon your game system, that's really involved and really can tell a great story. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, you go out and you wander around
in the woods.
In the woods. Actually, we did it in the city at night. Well, you know, obviously this is back in the late 90s when that was allowed. I guess nowadays, like, you do that, you're going to get yourself arrested.
People are going to look at you weird.
Or at least get stopped. But it was a lot of fun, so I would give it a shot. They even had their own set of LARP books for it, like specific rules on how to play the World of Darkness stuff with LARP. And then I got into miniature gaming, so I got into, let's take a look at it. So I got over here. Warhammer 40,000. So this is 7th edition. I got into it at 3rd edition. I was probably what was I, 14, 15? So my dad, on like an impulse for Christmas one year, had bought me the starter box for 3rd edition. It came with the rule book, which was, the honking thing, like the core rule book for Pathfinder. It was a huge book. And it came with Black Templar, Space Marines, and Dark Eldar as the armies that it came with. I don't know whatever happened to those models because that was so many years ago, but that was kind of where I started. And then I picked it up and put it down. I really got into it. 4th edition I played a lot. 5th edition I played a little bit. I kind of ebb and flow. 6th edition I got back into it. 7th edition, we played a ton of 7th when it came out. We're kind of on our down slope right now, but now with Age of Sigmar that's out, we're kind of getting the juices flowing and wanting to get back into some wargaming and some painting and stuff like that.
Fun stuff.
And of course I got to show off my Dark Angels. My Dark Angels is like my main army that I play. I love the Dark Angels. I just got to throw it out there. And most of the time, like in our group, I am DM, GM, storyteller. It's not that nobody else can do it. Most of my group says that I tell a pretty decent story.
It's really good.
I do gotta say, like, from the feedback, this is before you joined our group, my best work was in this is another fan-made system that came out. It was based on Die 20 Modern.
Okay.
It was Naruto.
I've heard a lot of stories about
or
your...
Naruto, or however you want to enunciate it. It was like seriously like 500 pages download of stuff. But it was really, really good. I made a really interesting story, and I mean I didn't think it was like super great, but like my players were just chomping at the bit to play. We'd finish a game, next day, hey, when are we playing? When are we playing? When are we playing? So that's as a GM. Obviously, I'm going to talk about more on being a GM and what that means to you and the player. That's what you want from your players. Like, you want them coming back. You want them just, like, not being able to wait for the next story. So really, that's kind of where it's led us up to here, making this channel. It's something that I want to do for a while. I tried to do it a while ago, but, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. But I think now's a good time to start, especially with all the new games and stuff that are coming out. So I'm going to turn it over to CJ, and he's going to talk to us about a little bit about how he plays and where he started playing and how he started playing and all that stuff.
Alright, so I started playing when I was 10 years old. My stepdad introduced me to AD&D, 1st edition. I played a fighter, which, of course,
it seems very... very stereotypical. You start out with a fighter, high hit points, high armor class. You don't run the risk of dying.
No,
you don't want to start as a wizard.
You can wear anything you want, use anything you want, except for most magical wands and shit like that. So I started playing a fighter. I actually, even still to this day, have, because we converted it to 3.0, I still have my character sheet for that character.
Oh, nice.
He's 19th level.
Oh.
He's up in the epic levels now, nice. Almost, so.
Especially for 1st edition to get that high.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Was a work in progress. Like, that was achievement unlocked right there.
Yeah, just boop. So I played 1st edition AD, ND, played 2nd edition. I've done 3.0. I haven't done 3.5. That was... Oh, I also played Rifts with my family. It's kind of this sci-fi, futuristic, it's not really D20, it's mostly D6.
Okay.
But it was a lot of fun. You can pretty much be any alien you want. You can have mechs.
Did it have stats for all the different aliens?
Yeah. Like, like most aliens had their own set of stats. Like, my character was from a world that was completely covered in darkness, so he can see in the dark. He was really at night he was really like agile and stuff like that, really good at hiding. It was a lot of fun. Like,
sounds cool.
And because Rifts is like the webways for each world open up, rip open, and suck you through.
Mm.
And that's through dimensions and stuff like that. So my set that actually incorporated Robotech into it.
Okay.
Which he had the books for the Robotech campaign, so it was a lot of fun, honestly. But that was the extent of that portion of my life, and then I moved up here. 3 years ago, and I met these guys through work, and they introduced me to everything else. So we've played Pathfinder, I haven't played World of Darkness yet, but I am intrigued. I haven't played Anima yet, but
Let's get the book out there so we can see what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Let's get the Anima.
Anima.
Boom.
I haven't played this one yet, but I'm also intrigued. So
Produced by Fantasy Flight Games. It's an anime role-playing game. It's a very unique system. It's not a D20 system, not a D6 system. It's a percentile-based system. It's pretty complex, so it's not something you want to start out and pick up. But if you've played several games before, like Dungeons and Dragons and maybe some Pathfinder or even Rifts or GURPS or something like that, then I would jump into this. It takes some reading. The rules can be pretty complex, like I said, but it is a lot of fun. If you like anime or manga or anything like that, this is going to be the game for you.
speaking of percentile games, they introduced me to Outbreak Undead, which is fairly amazing. Zombie apocalypse survival game. It is fantastic. There's a lot here, I guess. Like, making characters is pretty
It's pretty simple.
tiresome.
Well, I think it's in comparison to like say Anima or some other games. I guess there's a lot of different pages you have to go through.
Yeah,
a lot of different steps. But it does allow you to customize a very unique individual in a world based on today that would be overrun by zombies. Plus, what else can it allow you to do?
You can make yourself to play in this game. So you can use the maps of your city or town or wherever you're from, and you can go on, I think, a website or something like that, which we can put in the description if people would like to play this. And you can get the stats for your own person, yourself, which is creepy to play yourself in a zombie survival game.
Because a lot of people talk about their zombie plan as far as actually, let me see the book. Even if you look at the back of the book, let's see if we can see it right there. If you can read that. So it says
your zombie
survival plan will fail, is what it says. That's really what drew me to it, because I've always, there's some other zombie games that I've played before, like All Flesh Must Be Eaten, really good, but this really just lets you. It's very like Walking Dead. If you like Walking Dead, like if you wanted to play Walking Dead, you would use Outbreak Undead to play it. So obviously, this is produced by Hunters. We'll put a
link in the description.
Link in the description below.
And for Warhammer 40,000, I play the Chaos Space Marines. I was introduced to Warhammer and miniature wargaming.
Yeah. Was that my doing?
That was his doing. Yep.
I'm like the gateway drug.
He is. So I started playing with the chaos stuff. They're really good. I like them. They're evil and spikes and skulls and blood.
And their fluff is really good too. They're still running off a 6th edition codex right now, but they're still pretty good. Obviously, we're gonna have videos. We're gonna talk in depth about codexes and games and stuff like that. Yeah. Really, this is just an introduction. And then I got into Dark Angels. Originally, I was just into like vanilla Space Marines, but then I got into reading the 4th edition decks for vanilla is what they call it. Vanilla Marines and like Ultramarines.
Now all I can picture is all Space Marines under their helmet is Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Or their armor looks like ice cream cones or something like that.
Yeah.
But But yeah, so that's kind of where we sit with our experience and what we're going to be able to talk about. So obviously, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below, and we'll try to get back to you on them. The next video we're going to shoot, we are going to do the 10 Commandments of Gaming. So you have to have some kind of structure in your gaming groups, or otherwise you might have one person or two people that just make it not fun for everyone.
That black sheep.
The black sheep.
There we go.
Every group has one. I know you out there. You're like, nah, my group doesn't have one. No, really think about it. After this next video where we talk about the 10 Commandments, and we're going to talk about the people that don't adhere to those, you're going to be like...
And if you don't think that there is a black sheep in your group, you are the black sheep in your group. Because that's how it usually happens.
Well played. Well played. Alrighty, so that's going to wrap us up for today. So we will see you next time with the 10 Commandments of Gaming. Thanks for joining.
Have a good
We'll
night.
see you next time.